So for our J-band routine, this is something that we tell our players to go through before they throw the baseball. That's pitchers and position players. It's going to help them keep their arms healthy, and it's going to help their bodies warm up to throw instead of throwing to warm up. As we go through this routine, we'll go through our different exercises, and when our players are going through these exercises, we tell them to do anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. We give them the freedom to kind of make it their own routine. If they want to do a few extra reps on any particular exercise, we encourage that. We also tell our guys if they want to add anything extra to the routine, they're more than welcome to do that. You'll notice that I have the J-bands on, they're around my wrist, we're not holding them in our hands, we're not doing anything crazy, we're wearing them how they're meant to be worn. You'll also notice that our J-bands are on a hook. That's going to be about chest height to our players, so that's where we want to hook the J-bands on the fence. Our first exercise is going to be overhead tricep extensions. When I do overhead tricep extensions, I want to step forward with my glove side foot. So if I'm a right-handed thrower, I'm going to step forward with my left foot. I'll start with my palms together over my head, and all I'm going to do is extend my elbows forward, and when I do, I'm going to turn my palms away from each other. So as I come back, they're facing inward. As I go out, they turn out away from one another. Again, those are overhead tricep extensions. Our next exercise is called flies. We're going to step forward. Both our feet are going to be parallel to one another. We're not going to have our feet staggered. I'm going to start with my arms spread apart, and all I'm going to do is try to squeeze my chest together as my hands come forward. We want to make sure that our chest is getting fully extended, fully stretched out, and then we want to flex our chest as our hands come together. Our next exercise is going to be reverse flies. So we're going to turn around, we're going to face the hook, and you'll notice that I'm doing a very similar move to my flies. I'm just going to be pulling away from my hands. We're going to pull away from each other versus coming together. And you'll also notice that my arms are going to go upward, almost like I was doing a snow angel if I was laying down. So these are going to be reverse flies with a raise. Next exercise is going to be our side internal and external rotation. So what we'll do the same thing for both arms, but I'll start with my right arm. So I'll have my right arm is going to be closest to the band. I'm going to take my palm and bring it forward towards my stomach. The entire time I'm doing this, I'm going to maintain a 90-degree angle in my arm, and I'm going to have my elbow about a baseball's length away from my rib cage. So I don't want it up in my ribs, and I don't want it too far away from my body. I'll do that for both arms. And now I'll do external rotation. So I'll take the arm furthest from the hook. It will start closer to my stomach. It'll maintain that 90-degree angle. We'll act like we have a baseball between my elbow and my rib cage, and now I'm just pulling away from the hook. And again, I'll do that for both arms. Those are my side internal and external rotations. Next, we'll go elevated internal and external rotations. So when I say elevated, my arms are going to be up in kind of a field goal position. So I want my elbows just slightly under my shoulders. I want my arm in a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to start with them up in that field goal position. And all I'm going to do is bring my palms down, and it should create a 90-degree angle with my hand and my shoulders. And we'll do the same thing facing the hook. The last two things that I'm going to do is going to be with my throwing motion. I'll do a reverse throwing motion. So I'll start facing the hook, and I'm going to go from my finish all the way up to where it would be like if I had the ball back and loaded, ready to throw. So this will be reverse throwing motion. Notice how my glove side is not just laying there, it's not just hanging out, it's in a good strong position, just like it would be if I were throwing a baseball. The last thing I'll do is go through my throwing motion. So again, my feet will be staggered. What my glove side foot's gonna be out in front. Keep a good glove side. I'm just gonna go through my throwing motion. Couple things we like to see, stay consistent regardless of what exercise we're doing. We wanna make sure we are controlling the bands. We don't want the bands pulling on us. We don't wanna be wobbling all over the place. We wanna make sure we have a good strong base, and we wanna make sure that the tension is not too great or not enough. So we wanna make sure we got just enough tension to where we're feeling a good stretch with our moves, whatever it may be. And we also wanna make sure that we are controlling the band's not controlling us. So again, that's our J-band routine.